Hey, what's up guys? I am Brian at Whisper Status, and this video is going to be about Best Buy. Before we start this video, the reason for this video in discussing Best Buy is my last video was a rant video about not being able to locate the Quantum Peace Series X 75-inch at Costco. Now, the reason for choosing something like Costco is having such a comprehensive return policy and warranty. What I mean by that is you have a 40-day no fault, meaning even if you change your mind and don't like it, you can bring your display back. As well as Costco themselves covering display along with the manufacturer for a period of 1 year with Costco, 2 years with the manufacturer working together, meaning if you had a problem with the manufacturer, Costco, because you're still a member, would then still take the display back. Then you have the ability to buy another 3 years from Square Trade to cover you further. So important these days because the panel lottery, for those of you that don't know it, is in full effect. What I mean by that is I would argue that maybe 30% of displays that you get home have some type of issue. I don't know if this is because of manufacturing practices, the size of displays, the technology behind them, but there are a lot of issues. Now, before we go into the comments and talk about maybe being too picky, let's quickly split that group right off the bat. I have never returned a display because I didn't like it, because I didn't think it was bright enough or clean enough or clear enough. It was always because of a defect. Now, those of you that don't know, I'd spent 2016 into 2017 with 12 displays, ranging from $4,000 all the way up to nearly $10,000, back down to, I think, $3,000 for the display that I currently have. Each one having glaring defects. Now, these are defects that if I put them into your home, you would notice them, meaning that they were green line defects through the screen, many dead pixels, flashlighting, not IPS glow in this whole screen, but literally flashlighting through the entire screen. Things that you guys would notice in a heartbeat. So I think some people would say that I'm an enthusiast, that I'm really into this. I really, really am, but I'm not a professional TV guy. I'm not a calibrator. I'm just like you, no different. I have a family. This is not my profession. This is really just a hobby for all of us. So that said, after that video, the rant video, which again, I apologize for ranting, a lot of the comments, which I'm behind on, give me some time, I'll get back to each and every one of you. A lot of your questions were, why not Best Buy? So I want to address that in this video here. I've had a lot of experience with Best Buy, and I will do a quick video. I'll try to keep it quick. It won't be quick because I don't do quick videos. The reason for my lack of faith in Best Buy is my experience with them. Now, I have Best Buy people, employees on the channel. Our community has some of their employees, so please be kind in the comments. Even if those comments are a negative experience, please keep the toxicity down, please. We have Best Buy people in the community, and I do value their opinions. I also have friends at Best Buy, the ones that I film at. A lot of them do know their stuff. So the first plus with Best Buy is having a physical store to go in and actually look at the actual product that you're looking for. The product, to touch it, to feel it, to see it. Now with the Vizio that we're talking about, they don't have those there. But for the most of the Samsung and the Sonys, they do have them there, as well as the LGs. You can touch them, you can see them. The issue is they don't have as many as they once did. They don't have a huge inventory. There's also, they have less of the ability that you once had, that maybe the Wiz, Tweeter, those old companies had, where you can actually go in and touch and feel it, maybe get the remote, maybe hook up a console and see how they perform. To me, before you make that purchase, you should be able to take it for a trial run. That flexibility has diminished, as well as their staff being knowledgeable, but that's really up to the individual salesman or saleswoman knowing their products. Back in the day, they were commission based, and I'm telling you, I had friends then that really knew their stuff. They knew way more than I did. They actually would know the products because they had the finances to have them. Now, what I mean by that is, if I'm walking into a Best Buy, I love to have the salesperson know the products by maybe being able to have them in their own home. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, those salesmen had high-end audio at their house. Chances are what you were buying could match what they had at home. So they could talk from the top down with specificity of each product. A lot of the staff there can't. If your staff isn't paid well enough to know the products they're selling, it makes it very hard for them to really give you their honest opinion. Now, with the average person walking in there, it's fine. Though I will definitely say that they need to know more to make an informed decision. Why would you sell an elderly couple 8K display? They're not necessary. There is no 8K out there. You guys know what I'm talking about. But my biggest challenge with Best Buy is their returns. Now, you can return a display if you're an elite member, which I am, meaning you spent a certain amount of money there. You have 40 days, 42, 45 days to return, no questions asked. I would argue that. I don't think it's a no questions asked. I have caught much pushback on things being defective or not. So that's strike one, is I don't mind you telling me, oh, I don't know if I send you a picture of videos and pictures of dead pixels, just tell me, yes, no problem, we will send you another one. There's been pushback there. And I call that the walk of shame, meaning you walk into a Best Buy, kind of like a DMV, and you're searching around, and you walk right up to that desk. And like the DMV, you're like, hi, how are you? How's it going? And you give them your story. I shouldn't feel the need to be that way or have to make my case. I have pictures, I have video, this is what I'm dealing with. This is a 75-inch TV. It costs X amount of dollars. I don't care if it's a 42-inch TV that costs $100. It should not have dead pixels. Now, for you guys in the comments that are going to say that I'm being way too picky, trust me, if I put any of these displays in your home, with you spending the money, I promise you, you would have an issue. I promise you, if you're watching a movie with black bars and you see not a little bit of blooming, you're seeing jets of light like this controller shooting into the picture, you would say, what in the hell am I looking at? And you would go there. Getting pushback from the guy that sold it to me is unacceptable. So, let's go back. That walk of shame, making you feel like you're out of your mind, that doesn't happen at these big box stores. You walk into the Costco's or whatever, they're like, okay, cool, you have everything. Do you want a new one or not? They should be more willing to work with you. Banning your own customers or your own clients is something that is happening now. Now, let's clarify. If you bring back 5 displays, guys, and you're not happy, and you're saying, hey, this one's too dark, this one I don't really like, that's not going to be okay. You can't buy an oven and say, hey, you know what, I don't like the way it looks. That's a different matter. Let's just say this, my buying the Quantum P Series X, my fear for it is not that I won't like it. My fear for it is not that it's not bright enough or dark enough. It's that it's going to be defective. Not because it's Vizio, but because of the panel lottery. Because of these things having manufacturing issues and all the problems that happen with the operating system, the picture. These are big TVs now. There's a lot of issues with them. And like I said, maybe 30% of them have issues, guys. And for those of you in the comments that can agree with me or share your experiences with defective panels, a lot of you guys have them. Now, why do I know that? Well, because of the channel, I'm getting comments daily with please help, I have this defect, that defect. And I'm telling you, the leaders in that aren't Vizios, but with all of them across the board. And I know for a lot of you guys thinking the more you spend, the better it gets. I would argue the more you spend, the worse it gets. The more functionality, the more features, the more problems. The higher peak brightness, the more the defects in that display are more prevalent. What I need from, say, a Best Buy is their understanding and not making me feel like I'm doing them a favor or guilting me by returning this display, making me feel like I'm being blackballed. I walk into that Best Buy and I see them scatter. Whew. Now, full disclosure, my first Vizio P Series, ironically enough, which is a defect, is on their break room wall. It is 75 inches. It is all green, and there's a little box the size of a 12-inch iPad that is there. And I was the bad guy. I was blackballed there for returning 5 displays ranging from $4,000 all the way up to $7,000. And on the 5th display, they were almost going to force me to take a 6th. I recognized it through the head manager, and I said, you know what? I think I'm all set. I think I'm going to take my business elsewhere. I knew that they were going to try and stick me with that last display. They were going to say, even to the top brass, hey guys, we did the best we could for this guy. He's returned this many. Now keep in mind, 2P series, 75 inches, green line, intermittent, which is the dirtiest word in audio video, which means if you don't know, here and there, once in a while, big green line through the screen. You can see that on the channel and my series 4K Nightmare and What You Can Learn. Look at the P-Series 1. My KS9000, terrible clouding with local dimming on high, local dimming off, blotches all over the screen, flash lighting jutting into the image. Guys, $7,000. $7,000. Big, beautiful steel display. I mean, light, flashlights shooting into the screen. Nah, they're fine. It's okay. So if you know your stuff and you guys know what you're talking about as employees, how are you telling me that that's okay? So first kind of thing is they have a well-informed staff at some of them. Some of them, this goes by the individual store. I only can share my experience with you and why I won't buy something that high end there again. Some people know their stuff. The guys on the channel that are working there, you guys know your stuff. The majority, even in Magnolia, do not. And guys, they're not gonna let you just keep bringing back displays. But I promise you, you wouldn't have kept any of the ones that I purchased. Not at that price point. Not at $7,000. And that thought of I was troubling you, that I was bothering you, that it was, here's this guy. I know it's a pain in the butt. You think it's easy for me to return a TV that weighs 100 pounds? The delivery. And also, guys, with returning your displays, do this for me. If you do work with a Best Buy, when you return a display, you will say to them, here's my return. When you have the other display available, let's do a switch. Meaning, I want that new display. So let's just example. You have a display that's defective. Little buyer's advice. You're going to say to them, I have a defective display. It has this issue. You will show it to them. They will say, okay, this is when we can give you a return. You will say, what I would like is when you ship me the new one, which could be 2 to 3 weeks lead time, chances are it will be, I do not want to be without a display. Meaning that we will do a switch. When you send me the 3-week one, at that point, you will then take them, you will then switch them. That is possible. You will tell them to do that, or you will be without a display as I was for the first 3, meaning that my home theater room didn't have a display in it. That should not happen. I had a TV before I bought this new one. Now I'm here for 3 weeks without one. So first thing is do not return them without a replacement. If they can't have a replacement, take that one back. Let them document it, bring that one home, and then do the switch because they won't have them in inventory. Plus, all of the displays that I returned with dead pixels and defects were there sold as open box. All of the ones, 5 of them, were there as open box without any literature to tell you that they were dead pixels or had any issues. That's disingenuous. I then asked the salespeople that didn't know me, they all knew me at a certain point, what's wrong with these? And I was told, no, these are all brand new. The guy brought them back because he didn't like them. That's not true. That's why I don't recommend buying open box, simply because they're going to tell you how the guy brought them back. Guys, every single one of them was defective. That first P-Series is on their wall. Someone else went in and bought those displays. Now, those displays were reduced. They weren't reduced that much. They were still $6,000, still $5,500. So they lost my trust there. Pushback from managers. One manager was like, take your business elsewhere. I said, well, can you at least upgrade me to the next one? The next highest at the time was a Z9D or a 78-inch display. Can you at least upgrade me? The difference is $700. Can you upgrade me? Her response was, no. I can recommend this one. At that time, it was a Sony 940D, which was $4,000. So here, let's talk about simple math. As the company was willing to eat $3,000 in a loss, or give me a gift card for the difference and upgrade me. You can do that. How I can prove that is that after dealing with this manager, so let's just go back. This manager had me so frustrated that I almost kept it. So it's about being buyer's advice again, guys. It's about being firm but kind. You go in there like a maniac, they will dismiss you. You go in there super negative, you go in there looking like this, they're going to be like, wow, I don't feel safe. They will just choose not to do business with you. Now you're dealing with Best Buy, corporate. I don't suggest doing that. I suggest being firm but polite. I learned that. All I'm sharing with you guys is what I've learned. Going in there timid does not work either. I went in there, oh, okay, and that didn't serve me either. So here I am now with the manager saying, look, help me here. Help me keep my business here. Nah, I'm all set. So as I was leaving, I went to the wall. I found the manager. You can find that in the store. You'll see his or her name. Take down that number. You call them directly. Now, he got back to me in a week or so and was willing to upgrade me to the next display. Now, check this out. It was no longer available. Now, I'm pretty upset. Oh, wow, it's no longer available. He says to me, well, I'll send you another KS9000. I said, well, why would I want another of the same display? Now we're on number 6. He says, well, just give it one more shot. I had a feeling he was going to stick me with it. So what I did was then, a couple of days later, before my order could be complete. Now keep in mind, my last display is still in my basement. I said, do me a favor, cancel my order. I will be in to drop off this KS9000. I'm going to take my business elsewhere. He tried to backpedal, and as he backpedaled, he looked at the price, and he said, this display is nearly $7,000. And I said, wow, you never even looked at my case. You never even looked at the price. Here you are haggling with me, and you never really looked at the prices. Even when you agreed to upgrade me, you had no idea the kind of money you were talking about. He was not happy. He still gave it to me because I was an elite member. I brought it in, got my money back, went into Amazon. So the point of the fact is, guys, at that price point, I'm still feeling guilty for bringing back something defective. That's why I won't go on the merry-go-round with them again. You're questioning me, which is fine, but you're making me feel guilty that I'm inconveniencing you, for bringing back something that cost me $7,000, and I'm spending time. Now, $7,000 is a lot of money, guys, but bring that money. Now, I wouldn't buy that display now. I'm looking at buying one that's $3,500. But take that to your own finance, to $200, $300, 42 inches, 55 inches, and you tell me how you'd feel. I'm not looking like you're being inconvenienced. So the Walmarts of the world and the Costco's, when they have that longer no fault, they will say, all right, is it here? Cool. Because they can afford it. Meaning when you walk into a Costco or BJ's or those places, the majority of people there are buying other things. At Best Buy, I would argue probably 60% of the people that walk in there are leaving with nothing. Just sit back and watch. They're not buying anything. They're shopping, they're browsing. People don't browse at Best Buy or at Costco. They're buying their lettuce and their mayonnaise and grills. They're buying porch, furniture, things like that. So they don't mind eating that display. Best Buy does. Me pulling that $7,000 out there got me banned. Well, I would say banned. I was blackballed, as I found out by the employees. If I chose to buy another display there, I wasn't going to be allowed. Could you imagine? I wasn't going to be allowed. I've spent at least $10,000 with you guys. I'm having issues, all defective. You guys saw they were defective. We powered them on. But I was being too picky. Dead pixels, never going to be okay, guys. I'm just going to tell you my honest opinion. I don't care if you're buying a monitor. They're never going to be okay. A brand new car shouldn't have a dent in it. You shouldn't have scratched rims. You shouldn't have an issue where you hear a sound. Stand up for yourselves that way. I won't deal with Best Buy again for that reason. I'll buy a GPU there. I'll buy a receiver there. I will not go on that ride again with something that high-end and that fickle. I'll buy a washing machine there, but I'm not going to buy a display there for that reason. And if you guys that were dealing with me from Best Buy at that time, get in the comments and explain your side of it. But I won't go on there with you guys again. I am the elite member. So I'm all elite, but you're telling me that you won't sell me another display even though you knew full well that they were all defective. Now, defective guys, they were defective. They weren't, I wasn't being picky. Now, banding, we can argue some of that stuff. Guys, this wasn't vertical banding. I'm talking about crazy defects. So protect yourself. For me, Geek Squad warranty, yeah, it's great. That's awesome. Sometimes it kicks in after the manufacturer's thing. So think about this. If you have an OLED that has burn-in, you have to deal with their period of openness, 15 days to 40-something days. If you're elite, then you have your Geek Squad that kicks in after the manufacturers. Well, the manufacturer may not cover burn-in. So you might be stuck with a burn-in display with Geek Squad for 2 years before Geek Squad kicks in. That's store by store. That might be manager by manager. But stand up for yourselves and be kind but firm. But for me, guys, it's that guilting that makes me not want to purchase there. It's banning people, blackballing people. for returning very high-end, very expensive equipment is why I won't chance it. I just won't. I won't do it again through them. That's not just with the Vizio. I won't buy anything that high-end through them until they change that. They now ban you after 4 or 5. That's been after I went through my thing. So I'm definitely not going to get involved, and I'm not going to waste the time there. So that's my opinion of them. Geek Squad is fine. Keep in mind, though, that manufacturing warranty comes first, then Geek Squad. So that might be store by store, but that's what I've heard from you guys and Best Buy employees. That's my opinion of Best Buy. Why I won't shop there for that reason. I'll still buy everything else there. I still think they're great. A lot of their staff is very, very knowledgeable. A lot of them know their stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of them do not, and they will argue. I'm not going somewhere that's going to argue that TVs with dead pixels are not defects. That's my personal experience. Please share your personal experiences, guys, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm behind on the comments. I will get back to you, I promise. I will talk to you soon. That is my Best Buy experience. Let me know yours. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.